Yo, everybody! It's your boy Ken, Dogged Dog, and we have arrived at the final episode of the year. It's kind of crazy how quick this year went, but it's all good things must come to an end. But I am joined by a very special guest, our champion of the year, 2 chips in 3 years. BMAC, say what's up.
How we doing, everyone? It's a great night. It's a great night to be a member of the Bikini Bottom Bubble Bath. The energy is high in the room. Thank you for having me, Ken.
Of course. Well, I gotta say, what are your thoughts, just final conclusions, final thoughts on the year and how it's been, for you and then for everyone else?
As always, this league is very competitive. We always don't have an IR spot. The waivers were very hot this year. It was very hard to get players. There was a lot of trades that went around the league. I unfortunately wasn't part of any, or might I say, fortunately, at this point, I wasn't part of any. There was a couple points where I was trying to ship some players like Derrick Henry away, and I just held through the storm, and we got through the other side, man. But big shout out to everyone who was in the league. Thank you for continuing to play all the way up until week 18. Thank you. Thank you for Dan, the commissioner, for having us all together.
Shout out, Commish.
Thank you, Ken, for putting this lovely podcast together. And thank you to everyone else. It's been a fun year, and it's sad to see it end, but
Yes.
it always comes around once a year, and it brings together a lot of competitiveness, fun, joy, some great banter with friends. It's great to see the text chats being live and active.
Yeah.
So great year overall, man.
Yeah, I echo all those words, and you got maybe one day we'll get some type of like crown or belt or something for
Yeah,
people.
that would be cool.
That would be kind of cool.
A
to
trophy
do.
or a ring that we get to pass
something
around.
like that. But since you are the winner, let's hear a little victory speech. Go.
Victory speech. Well, the Bikini Bottom Bubble Bath has we've been dragged through the mud throughout all of our eternity of being a franchise. We had some questionable owners in the past, and I stepped new into a building, suit and tie. I walked right up with that new job, and we started off strong with that COVID year, splitting out the money. I fell down. I dropped down to 7th place. Then I rose from the ashes. I took a first place W. First thing I did was I called the previous owner, Evan. I congratulated him. I told him the great news. And then last year again, I found myself near the bottom. It was a real eye-opening awakening, and I played the waiver wire very hard this year. That's all I could say. My team changed quite a lot throughout the season, especially in the playoffs. I think I had a complete 180 team minus, my studs at running back, and that was really the only people that stayed throughout the year were Derrick Henry and Jahmyr Gibbs. So shout out Kenny for the Jahmyr Gibbs card. I think that really gave me a lot of luck in that latter half of the year when I needed him most. But I clawed my way to the top here. It's great to have a second championship under the Bikini Bottom Bubble Bath. I called Evan again the other night. I said, "Dude, you're a champion again," and it was a great feeling. So I'm glad to join, I believe, just you, Kenny, as the only 2 people to have 2 rings.
Yes, yeah.
So it's great to be up here with you, up on this pedestal. Scooch over, share some room, because it's going to be me and you for a while, hopefully until next year.
That would be great, honestly, if I would like my revenge next year, so we'll see. But yeah, you drafted from this 5th spot too, so right in the middle. Where everyone likes that little sweet spot, So,
Yeah, it was a very tough draft overall. One of the big players that I had my eye on right after I took, and I believe it was either before or after I took Egbuka in one of the later rounds. Shane went and took Tyler Warren, swept him up 1 pick before me, And then I kind of felt like I was on a struggle bus with a tight end all year, playing the waivers between Hunter Henry, Harold Fannin, and even ending the season with Pitts.
What's great about that position? It's a very good streamer position. So you don't necessarily have to go after the big dogs unless you know, feel like you want to just have a set and forget it tight end every week. You don't want to have to keep playing the waiver wire for a tight end. So people have different strategies, and it worked out this year for you. So
Yeah, man. All I can say is when I played the waiver, I had confidence in the players I picked up, and they balled out when I needed them to, man.
that's it. It's when it matters most. So, well, that's great, man. Congrats, and that's well deserved, well earned. You had to
Thank you,
definitely
thank
fight
you.
your way, earn your way to this. Beating out the two top seeds.
Yeah, man. I felt
So
like I was chasing your shadow this whole season, running right behind
and
you.
yes, right behind me this whole year. I was like, started off 5-0. I was like, oh man, I'm winning this whole thing, and I was so close, but that only counts in horseshoes. So, but yeah, so well, that was a great speech, BMAC. I'll clap for that. Very good.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So we'll jump in. Just doing our last um, weekly recap here. Looking at the box score here. Just unfortunate performance from my team here, but then again, James Cook only played like one snap, and then like
I was watching that in the living room with
I
my
know,
pops. He got one good carry, and I saw him trotting off the field. I was like,
yeah,
no way, they're pulling
yeah,
him too.
yeah. That was pretty much it. And then Nico Collins was a healthy scratch, so
Yeah,
um,
that's what makes these Week 18 championship
it's
battles
tough.
so tough.
Yeah, it's tough because then you have to like, put even because they're projected so high. Like Cook was projected at 20, and I was thinking like, oh, he's gonna play the whole game, and nah, so he didn't. So it's tough. It's a tough thing, but you know, uh, it's when it matters most is where it balls out, and T Law is, and they're playing. That's gonna be a great first round matchup against the
Yeah, the
Bills.
the Jaguars are just playing phenomenally right
Yeah,
now, all around. And you got to think they're doing this all without their first round draft pick, Travis Hunter. Now,
that's
what are
true.
your thoughts about him rejoining the wide receiver room now that it's looking? Now, I'm not gonna say crowded, but people like Parker Washington are stepping up. You got
Yeah,
Brian Thomas Jr. there.
yeah.
Uh, do you think he's just gonna stay on the defensive side of the ball after this injury?
No, I think they'll still use him both ways because his last game before his injury, he like kind of popped off like for that one good game.
Hmm.
So I think it's he didn't even play a full season. So I think they need to just kind of obviously they need to find a way to work him back in because they're pretty successful right now with what they're doing. So I think he's still gonna maintain that same role, that dual threat role. Um, as a corner and a receiver. It's just, you know, how are they going to work? Like he'll definitely play more, probably more corner than anything. I'm thinking, but how are they going to work him back into that offense? Especially if they go far in the playoffs. Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's my
I
motto.
agree.
So, but yeah. And then Miami, and then of course, guess who had your most points? And you did the Dan Strat, the kicker
The
and
defense and the
defense,
kicker.
46 points. It works.
Man, I was kicking myself in the butt around 4:30 seeing the Jaguars on my bench with 15, and I was like, I made the wrong call.
Yeah, it ended up working out though. I mean, and honestly, it made me upset seeing like Trevor Lawrence when they were up like 31-7. He was still playing. I was like, all right, dude, can you like you're up. You won the division. Relax. So
Yeah, and I believe
yeah,
Fairburn was my third highest points player for the our matchup between the 2 weeks. So
yeah, and that was his most he's had all year. So that's every field goal I seen, I was like, oh, just a dagger in the heart. So, but yeah, but overall, well, well deserved, and 271. That's a great showing, and yeah,
great
that'll
finale.
great finale. That's the finale, and then we'll just sneak on over to can't forget the consolation, the third place matchup here.
Of course,
Congrats,
of course.
Corey.
Congrats to Corey, bronze
Third
medal.
place, that's great.
Being on the podium is better than
Unfortunately for
not.
Dan, Dak only played like I think the first half, and they were terrible. So it was unfortunate there, but Yeah, Corey had a. He probably wishes he had this kind of week a couple weeks ago. So, but yeah. So congrats, Corey, on third place. And we will move to our final standings now. For everyone that participated, kind of. I know a lot of people probably didn't set their lineups throughout the rest of the playoffs, but it's going to affect your overall. So this is what it is.
That history, it comes back and bites you when you
Comes
look at
back and
it and you
bites
see
you.
those
Yes,
dips.
exactly. So me, BMAC at the top, and myself at two. Dan finished fourth, and then from 5 through 10, we got Nick at fifth. Trayvon ended up being sixth, and that was a good one.
A
Shane
huge
at
comeback.
yeah, for sure, seventh. And then Tybo at eight, and then Vinny at nine. Interesting. And then Ant finished last at 10. So Ant, congratulations on winning the toilet bowl. Um, yeah, nice, nice. You got your own little trophy, right? so, so yeah, so this is the final standings, and you know, does this surprise you at all, BMAC? Is there somebody here that surprises you, or is this kind of like what you expected for the year, or
I
this
don't
is
know,
what you?
man.
Yeah,
You always hope to see yourself at the top, but
yeah.
you never think you'll be there. Beginning of the season, I thought on paper Anthony had one of the most nasty teams I've seen
Interesting.
drafted. He had Lamar Jackson, Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown. He had Kenneth Walker. It was just
Yeah.
overall a very rounded team, and I was like, there's a lot of high-scoring playmakers there from last year, 2 years ago. Another one is Vinny. I
That's
feel
who I.
like
That was me. Yeah.
his points for are just so astronomically high. It's a
Yeah.
shame that someone who's in first place, like me, has less points than him, and to see him all the way down at nine, it's a shame.
Yeah. I mean, it's also he also had the second most points against too. So,
Yeah,
um, yeah,
tough luck.
it's yeah, and then even if you even look at his points against per game. I mean, like 127. So yeah, it was very unlucky for him. And honestly, I agree though on paper, like having CMC, Saquon, yeah, Drake London, Goddard, like that was a pretty good team. Waddle, and then
Yeah, even
yeah,
like Sutton, it felt like his
Sutton.
flex options just went on and on.
Yeah, so and he had James Conner too, but he obviously got hurt, which sucks. But so I thought on paper Vinny's team was really dominant. I gave him if I said that if CMC doesn't get hurt, he would be good. But unfortunately, CMC didn't get hurt, but it was Saquon who had the bad year. So
Yeah,
yeah,
we've mentioned it time and time again. The Eagles just a little weird team this
yeah,
year,
yeah, for sure.
but overall, it's been a great season. It was great to see a lot of us in the fight at the end.
Oh yeah.
At those last, I want to say 3 weeks, there were many possibilities of who was going to be in the playoffs, especially for our rival division. Theirs was a lot more
Oh
close knit than us, but
oh yeah. I mean, like this was there were still like I think going into like week 13, there were still like three spots or whatever up for grabs. Like it was kind of crazy. So this was definitely a lot more competitive. Um, you know, I think next year though, we have to find like we got to find a time like a good time for everyone to do a draft because 24-hour thing as great as it competitive it was, it just took a long time.
it definitely
And
did. A lot of
and
pros and many cons.
yes, for sure. So it was a good experience though to try it out, and it you know maybe it affected some more people than others. So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it helped with a lot more time, and maybe it didn't. You
Yeah,
know, maybe it messed up a lot of people. You're used to having that, an hour and a half time to crunch in all those picks, and
yeah,
it's a lot different.
yeah, absolutely. Well, we need to end this year off kind of with the bang, and we want to celebrate everyone too. So because you're all what makes this league great. So we have some awards that we'd like to give out, and
Woo!
thank you, BMAC, for sending, thinking of the, you know, the ideas, sending like the ideas and helping me, with getting
Ken,
the data.
the flowers are all yours, man. This was your idea. I was
Oh.
just really glad to help out and assist, and I think we have some really cool awards to
Some
hand
really
out.
cool ones. Yeah, you're gonna probably
Some
laugh.
are really out of left field and you won't be expecting, and
Yeah.
some of them were really interesting while we were crunching the numbers to see how they landed
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like forewarn you, there are a couple awards that we'll do next year that we weren't able to get to this year, just because like we couldn't keep track of it throughout the season since we just thought of this. So those awards will come next year, um, and maybe this is something we could actually incorporate in our Dynasty League too, potentially.
Yeah,
So
great idea. We could even use the same
yeah,
formatting,
we use the same format and
especially
everything.
since Kenny's Corner is going to be taking on a whole nother
Yes.
corner. You only have half the room left there, Ken.
Yeah, this is it. We get to Tommy and Dylan get to experience Kenny's corner there. So yeah,
Yeah, that'll be great. So
very cool.
this document, the 2025 Fantasy Football Awards, it's going to hopefully last us a couple years, and it'll be great to see things written on paper versus just the yearly recaps that we get from ESPN and their crappy app.
Yeah, those are cool too. But I mean, this is more fun. I think this is a lot more fun, and there's definitely some really funny ones that I think some of us are gonna really like. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So our fantasy football awards for the year, starting off with the Airing It Out award. This is going to be awarded to the manager with the most points from the QB position, and that is Shane. Congratulations, Shane. And
Congrats, Shane.
ironically, it's uh, uh,
A
Josh
picture,
Allen with a
yeah.
picture of his QB, who's the one who pretty much did it for him. So
Shane, I believe, started Josh Allen every week, but Josh Allen's bye week. So congratulations, Shane.
there you go,
Your
Shane.
QB balled out, man.
Let's go. BMAC, you want to get the next award?
All right, coming up next, we have the Ground and Pound Award. This will be awarded to the manager with the most points for their running backs in the season. And the recipient is
Oh
our
wow.
lovely host, Kenny, who
Yeah.
had a phenomenal 553.4 points started. Now, this is just from the running back
Yes.
position. So you're running back one and two. If you had started a running back in the flex, this does not count toward your point total. So
Yes.
congratulations, Kenny, for being the ground and pound dog.
Yeah, man. I mean, listen, everyone was talking about this year being, we're going away from the run game. We're all wide receivers. Nah, man. Running backs are still crucial. And, well, it got me second place. So, it
And you
worked
had a
out.
lot of studs this year.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely Jonathan Taylor being drafted way below his ADP. It's still, I think to this
Javante
day,
Williams.
yeah, Javante, and then trading for James Cook. Kyron was still good, so it was a good year for running backs for me at least. I drafted well with that. I could have had CMC. He was in my face twice, and could have had him, but that would have been interesting to see what have happened there. But yeah, it was cool. All right, moving on to the next award, we have the Sick Mitts on the Kids Award. And that's to the manager who has the most points from the wide receiver position, and that goes to Corey. Congratulations, Corey. 502.4 points. Puka Nakua obviously being one of the main benefactors of this award.
George
George
Pickens, Rome
Pickens had
Odunze,
two. Roma
beginning of the
Dunze.
season, Quentin Johnson, Corey's wide
Yes.
receiver core was very stacked throughout the
Yes,
whole
very good
season.
pick. He picked Puka as his first pick, and he had faith, and well, it worked out. So, congrats, Corey, on the Sick Mitts on the Kids award there. And
Sick mitts.
I don't know if that picture does it justice with Tyreek, but you know what? It's okay. All right, be back the next one.
All right, and we have the look at that buns on that award. So this is going to the manager with the most points from a tight end position. I think we all saw this one coming.
Yep.
Corey with a whopping 268.8. We had a historic season from his tight end with Trey McBride, so it's a no-brainer to see him up here. Corey started Trey McBride every week but his bye week,
Yep.
so congratulations, Corey. You got some sick mitts, and look at those buns.
Yeah, literally. He must work out. um, yeah, I mean, no question he wasn't going to start Trey McBride. He is honestly at this point he might be like could be an early second round pick next year. Is kind of what I'm thinking. Like he could really honestly become that Kelsey where maybe he even gets picked first round. Like he's
Yeah,
that good. So
he when going through the numbers, the weeks were 15 points, 30 points, 15,
right.
25. No other tight end even came close to those numbers.
Yeah, he had just absolutely led all tight ends, and Kyle Pitts literally was number two on the year, and he only got that because of his 45-point game. So imagine one game that brought him to number two. So it's kind of crazy.
And I believe Shane mentioned earlier this week that Kyle Pitts was closer to, I believe, tight end 30 than he was to tight end 1,
Look at that.
finishing
Yeah,
as tight end 2.
pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy. So we'll go to our next award, which is the Kareem Hunt and Urban Meyer Award, which is the manager with the most points from the kicker position. This one was a little shocking to me, but because Dan with Jason Myers, but it actually go to me at 150 points. Dan didn't pick. Oh, I could tell you the reason because Dan had Bucker for the first about 6 to 8 weeks or so, and then he picked up Myers where he started popping off. Whereas I had pretty much had Cameron Dicker my whole uh, season. He finished off as I think the kicker 3 or 4, I believe. So I was only like another week or two that I didn't have him because of bye week. So I'll take kicker. Kickers are valuable, and
Congratulations, Ken. Well
yeah,
deserved.
well deserved. We'll take that. All right, BMAX.
And
What do we got
following
then?
up, we have the best tackler since
Cool.
Joe Montana award. And this is to the manager had the most points for their defense during the season. And this one goes to Dan. Very similar situation with the Seahawks and their special
Yeah,
teams. It felt like he rode with them for most of the season there.
yeah.
Surprisingly, he didn't have them in the first quarter of the season, and he still took away with the win here. So congratulations, Dan. Those Seahawks, 12th man, they carried you very far.
You know what I always say about defenses? They help, and it's they're very crucial week to week. People seem to forget
Defense
that,
wins
but
championships, Ken.
defense wins championships. So congrats, Dan, on the Joe Montana there award. All right, so let's move on to the Weird Flex but Okay award, and that goes to the manager with the most points from the flex position. And this is going to go to Trayvon at 211.2. So Trayvon using his flex position very wisely. And this is kind of interesting because he didn't have Rasheed Rice for the first 6 weeks. So, and then, the way that some of his other players, like Jamar Chase, even though that he wasn't a flex, but, you know, his players I felt like were scoring very low amount of points, but he still somehow ended up with the most amount of flex points throughout the year. So
Trayvon just knew who to throw into that
yeah,
position. It seems he always played the right flex.
yeah, yeah. So congrats, Trayvon. There you
Weird
go.
flex, but you got that, bro.
You got it, man. You got it.
All right, coming up next, we got the KY Jelly Lube Me Up Award. So this one goes out to the manager who started the most tight ends in the flex position during the season. We actually have a tie here. We have Kenny who started Ferguson and Kittle for 2 weeks, and we also have Tybo who started, I believe, Mark Andrews and Sam Laporta for 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
congratulations to both of you. You guys are gonna have to split up this lube and figure out what to do with it.
Well,
Have fun with that one.
yeah. I'll let Tybo handle that, but
Hey, sometimes your best position for the flex is a tight end.
yes.
In Tybo's case, it worked out both times very well for him, where his tight end at the flex had over 10 points, and for Kenny, his flex tight end had 0 points. So,
Yeah.
uh, two sides of the coin here for the Lube Me
Listen,
Up award.
sometimes you have bye week issues, all right? And, what are you going to do when you have Jake Ferguson, who was like tight end one at the time, and then George Kittle, who's wants to be the run blocker one game, I mean, come on. Like, it's tough. It's a tough one, but it's okay. We still ball. All right, we have the Show Me Your Titties Award, guys. This is to the manager who scored the most touchdowns during the season. And this is going to our champ here, BMAC, with 87. So 87 touchdowns. You could thank Devontae and Jameer Gibbs for this. Probably mainly Devontae. With those
All those goal line
all
fades.
those goal line 1 yard touchdowns, and that kicked me for the first half of the season. I know it kicked Shane in the butt for the second half with Kyron. But 87, and then in second place was actually myself with 81. So it was close, but BMAC takes the cake there with it. So congrats on the Titties Award.
Thank you, man. I'll happily take them. I'll thank Jameer Gibbs, Derrick Henry, and Devontae Adams for that.
Absolutely. All right. We'll go to our next one.
All right, and to counteract that, we have the TD Dumpster Award. This is unfortunately going out to the manager who had the most touchdowns put up against them this season. And unfortunately, Tybo, that was you by a pretty wide margin with 91. You hate to see it. It's very unlucky. Nothing you
Yeah.
can control, but
Yeah. That's an average of, I think we calculated, was it 6.5 touchdowns a week against them. So that's
yeah. Towards
that
the end,
that
there were a lot of 9, 10, and even a 12-point touchdown week put up against them.
yeah. So, well, congrats, Tybo. I guess if you want to appreciate the award, hey, listen, it just means you were a fun matchup to play against for the other team. So,
An award's an award, man.
yeah. All right, so we'll go from the started from the bottom, now we're here award, and this was awarded to the manager with the highest ranked team at the end of the season that was last in the power ranking at any point in the season. So essentially what that means is power rankings, how we had the power ranking in the beginning of the year, and then then where they finished off at the end of the season. So that actually goes to Dan, where he had ranked 7th at one point and then jumped up to 2. He got the 2 seed. So great job, Dan. Way to turn it around for that, and that's great to see. So
Yeah,
good job,
going
Fish.
from starting projected 7th and then finding your way fighting in the playoffs is a great feeling.
Schedule
And
merchant.
yeah, they'll call him the schedule merchant, and I guess when it got hard, he couldn't compete. But congratulations, Dan. It's always a great thing to see something that's awful turn into something great and beautiful. So if you had Bucky Irving, things could have been
Yeah,
different.
I agree. I agree. All right, we'll go to our next one.
And we have the greatest show on the Fantasy Turf Award. And this is awarded to the manager with the highest scoring a week of the season. And congratulations, Trayvon. You had a outstanding 181 that occurred during week 9. And I don't know if anyone came quite close to that. I think the next highest were in the low 170s.
No, yeah, there was a 179. I
Okay.
think that I had a 179, and then Dan had 177. So
So I
it was
stand
2 points
corrected,
off.
but
Yeah, but
congratulations, Trey. Regardless,
yeah,
it's an impressive number, getting close to that $200 or 200 point mark.
yeah. And of course that was done against me. So yeah, I remember that matchup. I had 120 or something like that. Yeah, that was rough. I kind of like solidified my L that week. I kind of knew that was happening. So um, yeah, that's congrats, Trey. Again, that's great. All right, stop. He's already dead award. This is to the manager with the largest blowout win during the season, and um, Tybo. Well, I guess this would actually go to Dan because
He had the win.
he's the one who had the win. So okay, so Dan, this goes to you. With your week 11, Dan had a 177-71 um, win against Tyvo.
A huge victory. I
Over
mean, a
100
100-point
points.
victory is insane.
Yeah, you don't see those too often. So congrats on that, Dan, and Tybo. I'm sorry you had to be the benefactor of that. That is really unfortunate.
I
And
think
I'm
that might have been that 12 touchdown a week that he had
oh,
there towards the end of the season.
that makes sense. Yeah,
That kind of all adds up there.
yeah.
All right, and we have the Horseshoes and Hand Grenades Award. This goes out to the manager with the smallest margin of defeat during the season. And this one goes out to Dan, week four, who lost to Kenny by, I believe, the sliverest of a margin. We had zero point 0.1 points here, and I remember Dan was very upset after this loss. The brother matchup was one for the ages, like a Chiefs Rams. It's up there, very high scoring, coming down to the wire. Poor Sue Manning had to keep her household together.
I'm trying to think what it was. There was definitely, it might have been like a catch or a run or something. I think somebody had like a catch. I think it might have been Pickens because he had Dak, so I had Pickens, and the game actually had gone to overtime, and I was like, oh my god, like this is crazy. Um, and they ended up, I think instead of Dak running it, if Dak got taken down at the 1 yard line instead of scoring a touchdown, and that was it. Like then the game ended or something like that. Like then they just I think they just kicked the field goal. So I was like, oh my god, if he scored that touchdown, that would have been it. And so, whew, uh, that I was shocked, and that maintained my undefeated record at that point because I was 3-0. We were both 3-0 actually, and so yeah,
I
that
wonder if there's
was.
a way to see if there was any point adjustments to that game after the fact.
Oh yeah, interesting. We could probably take a look back, but I don't think there was just because our records are still, you know,
The way they are.
the way they are. So yeah, but yeah, I'm sorry, Dan, about that one. But enjoy the horseshoes and hand grenades. It only counts, almost only counts in horseshoes, as they say. All right, and our next award goes out to the Ray Finkel Laces Out
This one's
Award.
hitting.
This is awarded to the manager whose kicker missed the most kicks, and goes out to our champ here, Mac, with 10 missed kicks. This includes extra points and field goals. So, Mac, what do you have to say about 10 missed kicks?
I mean, after Tyler Lue's performance last night with the Baltimore Ravens, this one just feels like a
Oh,
little extra dagger in the heart.
yeah.
I started off the season with Cam Little, and I gave him one too many chances, and that's why I'm here. So
Yeah.
he picked it up towards the end of the season, but he was on Vinny's team at that point. But I'll take it. An award's an award, and it'll hang nice and bright next to my championship trophies.
Well, the good news is about missing kicks is you only lose 1 point from him, and you don't lose any for extra points. So, I mean, you could look at that as a positive, but you're also missing out on maybe some potential wins because of that. So,
Yeah.
there's pros and cons for that. But enjoy your Ray Finkel award.
Oh, thank you.
All
And we
right.
have the Aaron O'Toole Award. And this is awarded to the manager with the most points scored but missed the playoffs. And we just touched on this
Yeah.
before we started our award ceremony here. Vinny had an outstanding 1,698. Um, Again, he had more points scored than I did, and I'm the fantasy champion.
Yeah.
So very unfortunate, but congratulations, Vin.
Yeah. Nice job, Vin. All right. The Great Canadian Bagel Award. Canadian Bagel, also known as a donut. Awarded to the manager who had the most players put up a zero or less during the season, and Kazi, Nick, five. And a lot of those came from your defense. They were Packers defense, got you some negative points. And I listen. I don't blame you for picking them up in the beginning of the year because they just got Micah, but yeah, five zeros or less. That's not good.
No bueno. I think the next manager had three or less, and it was a tie for that second place.
Okay.
But congratulations, Kaz. Enjoyed the donuts, man.
Enjoy the donuts.
Almost half a dozen. Now we have the wheeling and
Oh my
dealing.
god.
So this is awarded to the manager with the most roster moves during the season. And it's not really a shocker to see the trade master himself over here,
Yeah.
Kenny, with 65. Whether it was
Listen,
waivers, trades,
yeah.
just regular pickups throughout the week, Kenny was making those moves.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like I see like somebody with a questionable tag, I go and pick up their backup because you know what? I'm not messing around with it. And especially the funny the last week when we had our battle, I was playing defense. I was picking up all the running backs because I was like, oh, I don't know if Devontae's gonna play. So I thought that you were gonna throw Parker in as your wide receiver and you would need a flex.
Uh-huh.
But so I picked up all like Estime, Jordan Mason. I picked up all the players that were like that were starting week 18, just so you couldn't get them to start them as your flex, and you would have to start somebody bad. But yeah, it didn't matter anyway. So
Yeah, and that last week you had some great pickups. I mean, Estime, Jaden
yeah,
Blue, they both scored. I think they both
yeah,
had over 10 points.
yeah, yeah. So sometimes there's pros and cons to it because then if you drop players that end up performing well later in the season, it kind of comes back to bite you. But it's
I had
not
to
always
pick
a
up
bad thing.
Nine himself to stop Tybo from starting him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly,
that's a
exactly. So
transaction, man.
it's it. Mm. All right, and we'll go to the Never Wavered Award, which is to the manager with the fewest roster moves to make the playoffs. Oh, I read that wrong. I'm so
Uh-oh,
sorry.
uh-oh. Well, we can
Oh.
adjust
We
this
can
on the
adjust
fly.
this right now. So, BMAC, would you like to take a look on who had the fewest moves? I know it is not me, so it's either
Um,
between you,
well, I'm gonna
Corey.
go on a whim here and say it
I
was,
think
if
it's
we go,
Dan.
I'm gonna
I
also
think it's
say
Dan.
Dan.
What's the number?
Uh, it's not saying an exact for the
We could take.
playoffs.
Oh no, just to make the playoffs. So here, we'll take a look.
So
So,
then it would be, yeah, Dan with 15,
yep,
and
Dan
Corey
is
with
15
24.
moves.
So,
Yep. So Dan with 15 moves. So that's my mistake, guys. I
but
didn't realize.
Tybo, you made the fewest roster
Tybo,
moves throughout the whole
yes,
season and did not make the playoffs. Something's got to change there,
yes.
brother.
Yes. So Dan, 15 moves, you made the playoffs. So that means that's really good for Dan, especially being at the top of the division too, and making the least amount of moves like in the for the waiver wire. That's shows consistency, and it paid off for him too because you won your division. Now as for Tybo, 10 moves, you didn't win a damn thing. So, it works out in some other people's favor. Some people it doesn't. So, what can we say?
But coming up next, we have the Day
Yes.
Trader Award. So this goes out to the manager who made the most trades during the season. And like I just said, Kenny the trade master, but he also tied with Shane. They both
Yes.
made 3 transactions of trades throughout the season. Surprising, I feel like Corey could have been up here too,
Yeah,
but
Corey had two.
okay.
Yeah, he traded with Shane, and then he also traded with me.
Gotcha.
So that was two. Oh, wait a minute. But then there was a third. There was a. Oh, hold on. Because Corey made three trades with me, actually. So, yes, Corey is up here as well. So you are right.
Yeah, because you guys had the Michael Wilson trade as
Yep.
well as the Hampton
Hampton
Pickens trade.
Pickens, and then he had the Brees Hall Nico Collins trade. So yes,
Correct.
so Corey, you are also awarded this as three. Um, so congratulations. So we have a three-way
Congratulations to
tie
everyone
for the
who
day
made
trader.
some successful
The
trades.
most, I would say, probably the most trades we've had in a while. I mean, we
I
have,
I I would say so. Yeah.
yeah, so
Usually it might only be one, sometimes two, but to see 3 guys up there tied with 3, nice job, guys.
yeah. All right. Oh, this one hurts.
Oh,
Um,
oh, oh, we have a stat correction here
oh, a stat correction.
for the trade.
Oh, who is it?
Well, Corey did have 3, but you and Shane have 4 total. So it is
Oh,
still a two-way tie. We're just missing a trade somewhere in the cracks here.
all right. Oh, you know what it was? Shane had a mini trade
Trayvon, I
with
believe.
Trayvon. It was Tony Pollard for it was like a mini trade. It was like one of those like weird bench
Uh,
trades.
yes, yes.
So okay, so then Shane and I, you and I, we are both tied at 4.
Congrats,
So
guys.
still, yeah. Well, thanks for the stat correction. That's
Of
great.
course, of course.
All right, and we just have to award it because it's a thing, and it technically is true. The worst trade deal in history of trades for this year. Definitely me and Corey, the Adunze for Wilson. I sold high on Michael Wilson. I really thought that when Harrison came back, he was going to be a bomb. Well, Adunze ended up never playing again. So,
And Michael Wilson, I believe he ended the season as well with 1,000 yards. I
yeah,
could be
yeah.
wrong.
He, like, going forward, he's definitely the wide receiver one on that team. Um, no doubt about it. And there's a bright future for him. We just don't know who's going to be throwing to him. But
That one's up in the air
that
because
one's up
I'm
in
sure
the
it
air.
won't be
But
Kyler Murray.
yeah, that one definitely hurt the soul, and I would probably say every other trade though was pretty fair, honestly. I think and maybe at first it wasn't, but then like later in the season,
Yeah, they
it
all
kind of
ended up
kind of
evening
balanced
themselves
out.
out.
Yeah, yeah. So Corey, I hope you enjoyed your Michael Wilson. I wish I still had him. All right.
All right, and the old wooden ship used in the Civil War era award. This one goes out to the manager who started the most white people during the season. Congratulations, Kazi, you started a whopping 50. Um, there was a lot of, I believe he started a white quarterback, tight end, and kicker all year, as well as some flex options of Ricky Pearsall in there, which gave him this award.
Tybo, I know you would appreciate this award. Um, um, yeah, Vinny was number two at like 40 something. So, congrats, Kazi, and
Enjoy the wooden boat.
enjoy. Yeah, yeah, exactly. All right, the New York Jets award. Um, goes to the manager with the longest active playoff drought, and we actually have a tie here. This one, I really thought that I thought that Ant was the winner here actually, but he did win third place 2 years ago, so I think it was. So Shane and Trey actually have a 3-year drought of making the playoffs. They're tied, so you know
Rain
every
is coming.
don't. Yep. Exactly. King's Landing, Winterfell. He's on his way. And Trey. I mean, Trey this year was just very unlucky. I honestly think he really could have made a good run,
I
but just
mean,
very
if
unlucky
his
year.
team played the way they did the second half of the season during the
Yeah,
first half of the season, he would have been a playoff contending team
for
for
sure,
sure.
for sure. So it's the number one pick. Having the number one and number two pick. It's just that it just seems to bite everyone in the butt. But yeah. All right. Move on to our next one.
And we got the 1966 Redskins versus Giants award. This one goes out to the manager with the highest scoring matchup during the season. And this one goes out to Kenny and Dan again.
Yep.
Congratulations to the Manning brothers. That Week 4 matchup came down to the wire. We've
Yeah.
spoken about it. Insane game. Poor Sue Manning losing her hair. Dan was like running up the walls. Kenny was trying to stop him. We heard it all the way here from Wendy Drive. Horrible, horrible scene.
Actually, right below this was the Trayvon and my matchup when he had the 181. I had 120, so it was by like a point, like it was like point .8 where this was it was so close. Um, so Trayvon, you almost got this award, but Dan and I will gladly accept the Redskins versus Giants award. I'm curious what the score of that game was.
Yeah, we'll have to do some research on that. Maybe some diehard Giants fans can enlighten us.
What an award,
And
dude.
the 2023 Vikings versus the Raider award. I don't think we want to watch this game, Ken, because this one goes out to the manager who had the lowest scoring matchup during the
Yeah.
season. And well, it's your 2025 fantasy champion. It's me. I had a whopping 62.75, a pitiful showing from me. I don't know what the hell I was thinking week 6.
Yeah, your players decided to take a breath, take an extra bye week or something.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that extra bye week paid off in the long run, that extra week of rest, but I'll gladly accept this one. It's a perfect yin to the yang of the first place medal. I'm very happy to accept this one.
Yeah,
Very surprising that I got this one. as well.
Yeah, I know. Exactly, especially with the amount of points you scored. So,
Most
it happens.
touchdowns and lowest scoring matchup.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And this happens for everyone. Everyone has one of these types of weeks where it's just, it happens to everyone. So,
Nothing you could do. It's out of your control. Just
yeah,
gotta
you
come
started
back
the
the
right
next week.
players. It's just, yeah. And so that is actually what concludes our awards for the year. And so,
Should
congrats
we?
to everyone that did win an award. I think
I think
everyone
everyone won
actually
an award
won the
here.
award. Yeah. So,
So
Steve.
congratulations everyone with your awards. Next year these will be added, so the 2026
Yes.
winners will be going below, and I believe Kenny's gonna give a sneak peek here at some future awards
Yes.
that could be going out.
Yeah. So, like I mentioned earlier, some of these are really tough to track now, and it would just take a very long time. And there's been too many roster moves. So, like I said, next week or next year, I will start tracking these weekly. To kind of to see who gets the reward at the end. So we have the Clapper Award, and this is going to go to the manager who lost out on the most wins because of a terrible lineup decision making. So like if you started like a player that had like 30 points on your bench, 40 points, so um, and who lost out like maybe like if you had started this person, you would have won. So
See,
one some
Sleeper already calculates your start sit percentage, but ESPN does not.
exactly.
So next year, Ken and I offer to help are going
Yes.
to do this weekly so we can have some even cooler and more crunched numbers for the
Yes.
awards.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The next one was the But I Was Supposed to Win award, and this is the manager who lost the most matchups they were projected to win. Like I said, we can't track that now because
We can only see the
it's
end
yeah,
projections
only
now.
see the end. So we'll keep track, when we do the videos weekly on like who's projected. And obviously we'll have to because like lineups change every weekend. We'll have to do that like Sunday morning or Saturday or really Thursday. Actually, it'll be Thursday, Wednesday because if you have Thursday games, so everybody's gonna be different because not everybody plays Thursday. So we'll see. We'll figure it out. The next one would be the Loyalty Award, which is the manager with the most points scored from drafted players. So players that were drafted, on your team, they stayed on your team. Bam. And then the final award we're going to do next year is the Flood Pants Award, and this is the manager with the most points scored from post-draft acquisition players, like waiver wire pickups, trades,
Trades.
etc., things like that. So yeah, just some upcoming awards for next year. I really like the but I was supposed to win award. I think that one's going to be really funny. Um, so
A lot
yeah,
of fun stuff on the horizon for
a
this
lot of good
league.
stuff coming. So yep, like I said, congratulations again, everyone, and for everyone else, just to kind of conclude, it's been a great year. We had a great season. It's been fun. Um, Fun doing this. I've had a really good time. Thank you to all the special guests that have joined me. BMAC, you've joined here twice, so thank you very much, and thank
Yes,
you
thank
for
you for
helping me with
having
the
me, Ken.
awards. And this will be we'll definitely we're going to continue doing this until we stop doing fantasy. So
Yeah, man.
um, whenever.
And the last round of applause should go out to you, Ken. I don't think
Thank
anyone has
you.
put out the effort that you have this season. From the podcasts every week, you had people asking you when they were going to come out weekly in the chats.
Yeah,
You had the hounds demanding for some entertainment. And
I
you really stepped up to the plate, man. And I think you fucking knocked the ball out the park. You did a hell of a job this year. So, round of applause for yourself, Ken. Thank you for doing this, and thank you for the commissioner for always having us here and
yeah,
having a great
thanks.
league, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, that'll wrap up our 2025 season. And no, like I said, once again, big shout out BMAC for the champ.
Thank you,
And
thank you.
will he? The question is, will he defend his title next year?
Hey, if I could get three chips in 4 years, it would be a blessing. But
It's like the
I'm gonna
Miami
be
Heat.
there on draft day with everyone else. So I'll see you
All right.
then. This is your 2025 champion, BMAC, signing out.
All right, everyone. Peace out. Thanks again for the support throughout the year, and we'll catch you all next year.